The MOCS is the pinnacle of Magic Online tournaments, but getting to it is an extreme task. One slot a year goes to a vintage champion. Today, we're taking the first step in securing our slot. Okay, welcome vintage gamers to the first MOCS Showcase event of 2025. There will be 3 of these events. The top 8 of each event qualify for the vintage qualifier, where the winner gets to go to the MOCS, gets a Pro Tour invite, and Worlds invites are on the line at the MOCS. I have not won a MOCS since back in, was it 2020? So it's been quite a long time, but I've had a few close calls. I remember losing at least one semifinal to Nathan Stewart and a couple other ones. But yeah, I would really, at the very least, I would like to top 8 one of these showcases and qualify for the qualifying event. As it's, it's pretty important. It's one of the biggest online tournaments for vintage over the year, and it's going to be quite large, over 170 players. We're going to be playing a lot of high stakes vintage action today, and I picked Doomsday as my deck of choice. I won a prelim with this just recently, and I'll be completely honest, when I think it's basically a 2-deck format. There are lots of decks you can choose to play that are okay, but there are only 2 decks that are very good, and those 2 decks are Lurrus Control and Doomsday. Now, you can do a lot of different things inside how you build Lurrus Control. I think there's actually some viable Deathrite Shaman Lurrus Control decks. There's obviously Esper and Blue-Black, and I think there's quite a few other things that you can do. And then, obviously, there are people who are registering Initiative, Dredge, and Jewel in high numbers, and then a bunch of other random decks. Initiative, Dredge, and Jewel in high numbers are good against each other in different configurations, but none of them have good matchups against Doomsday or good matchups against Lurrus Control, so it doesn't really make sense to ever really register one of those unless it's something that fits your style of play that you want to play with. So for me, picking between Lurrus Control and Doomsday is quite an easy choice because I just don't really like the play style of Lurrus Control. It doesn't really fit how I want to be playing vintage. So picking Doomsday makes the most sense. Now, I could have also chosen to play Lurrus PO, but I've been very frustrated with Lurrus PO's matchups against like Dredge. It has a good mono white matchup for sure, but it just seems to, and it has a good Lurrus matchup, I would think. At least that's how I felt. I always felt pretty good about pairing into Lurrus with Lurrus PO. But I just kept losing to Dredge and Jewel, and I just felt like no matter how much I did, my deck was just a little too clunky to consistently beat those decks. And so I wanted to pick one of the 2 decks that consistently beat all those decks, and that's going to be Doomsday for me. So this is going to be 74 of the 75 that I won the prelim with, which is on my YouTube channel. You can see that. This is the Epic Storm Consider Murktide package for the Lurrus matchup mostly. And I think I just changed the 1 Tabernacle to another additional snuff out for mono white initiative gamers. I don't really feel like the Tabernacle is super necessary nowadays. So yeah, looks like we have a very hard round 1 matchup coming against one of the Doomsday experts of the format, Doomsday Mirror, coming to you in round 1 of this vintage showcase. The legendary NYSE Open returns to Long Island in New York. This 9th installment will be a 15 proxy, $500 entry fee tournament where the top 8 will return home with 8 pieces of real unlimited power. Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 MOCs will be part of this celebration of vintage. At 100 players, there'll be an additional wacky draft with classic booster packs from Ice Age to Onslaught, the NYC Trophy, Karn Altars, $1,000 in giveaways, dealers, and much, much more. Check out the link below for all the details. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1, Vintage Showcase up against an extremely powerful Doomsday gamer in 6MP. This hand has a Doomsday with Force backup, so we're definitely doing it. Floodistram pass. Condor. So I'm going to pass as well. I don't want to play into a Floodistram. Let's see if they could use some of their mana up, and obviously I still have a turn 2 win. So there's not really like a lot that I'm gaining from going for it right now. But we'll definitely go next turn. Demonic Consultation milled off of Undercity Sewers. Sure, we can do that after the match. It's pretty straightforward. I feel like you should be able to guess it, but I didn't deviate very much from win rate data, like recent win rate data when it came to my picks. So one of the problems is that in general, the first person to go for a Doomsday kill is usually the one who loses in the Doomsday matchup, but we do probably need to press here. My opponent counters this, so be it. Negation. Pitching, chain. This is fine with me. I have a consider to play on their turn, and I have force up, so. Cycle of Street Wraith. 4 cards in hand. Brainstorm. Ugh. I really don't. If I had a Flusterstorm, I would counter this. I really wish I could counter this, but I don't think I'm allowed to. All right. Well, now they get to look at my hand. They only have 4 cards in their hand, though. No, I mean, those are 7 decks that I actually recommended, not decks that I wouldn't recommend. I would never recommend someone play Oops, you know? That's not a viable deck choice. What is this? Oh, dig through time in response. Seems good. My opponent is extremely outvaluing me. I'm getting outdrawn by like 6-7 cards here. So yes, I'm aware. I cannot I cannot block out the entirety of my industrial mill size window. It's like 15 feet tall. I have very nice blinds, but you can't, they have to have a little hole in them. Oh man, I'm pretty dead in this game. My hand quality is just much worse than my opponent's, and they were on the play, so they've been able to cantrip more than me. Not only is it a mirror, it's a mirror against one of the better Doomsday pilots on the platform. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking a land. I don't have a 0-mana cantrip at the moment. I have a dig through time of my own, but I just have no cards in my yard because I'm just getting so severely outdrawn here. I think the answer is we were supposed to cast this Ponder. Okay, so there's a Street Wraith and a Doomsday and a Ponder. So I like the idea of keeping the Street Wraith and then fetching and passing, and we holding up force. And the next turn we have another Doomsday attack. I mean, I just don't think we're going to win. I think we're going to get wrecked here, but give it our best shot. I mean, I don't think we're allowed to shuffle this. I feel like we have to at least be able to present this Doomsday kill on the follow back. And I can cast this dig through time if I have to. Damn, main deck duress as well. So I could brainstorm my force onto the top of my library and be able to redraw it with Street Wraith. Is that actually worth doing? Probably. That or I definitely want to get rid of some of these Doomsdays. God damn it. That's so bad for me. Maybe I should have fetched first. I guess I should have fetched first. I felt like, no, there's like no way. I don't know. Because now I can't really win, because if I have to use Street Wraith into this force, I can't really win, but whatever. I guess this just takes my dig through time. I'll probably just die on this turn, right? I don't know. I don't know if like I played this game poorly, or it doesn't really feel like I played the game super poorly. It just feels like my opponent's cards were much better than mine, doesn't it? I mean, I definitely had choices in this game for what it's worth, but I'm not really sure any of them were like super divergent and how the game would have played out. I don't know, I'll have to go back and watch. Yeah, the dig through time's gone. They have a Black Lotus. Yep. It's time to find out if they have the Flusterstorm or not. Yeah, but now I can't even win with this Doomsday, so like it's not very good. I guess I could fetch into another Street Wraith or Gush. Yeah, they had the Flusterstorm the whole time. I mean, now they just have to have a cantrip. Yeah, but like I don't really feel like this is like a winnable spot. None of this has felt like it's a winnable game. And if they don't have a cantrip here, like what can they possibly even have in their hand, right? So like if they don't have a cantrip here, then it's pretty straightforward that they just have counter magic and I can't even win anyways. But if they don't, I mean, I don't know, maybe they have double Doomsday in their hand. Let's just say they have double Doomsday in their hand, then I can at least fetch, use a Surveil land, try to find a Gush or a Street Wraith and go for a win. But that Brainstorm did not do it for me, I must say. I don't know if I was supposed to fetch first, though, because I did know some of the cards on top of my library, right? It just felt like a really bad time to fetch. But maybe I was supposed to fetch first. That seems like it could be a change that could have been made here. But, like, also, what am I drawing? Like, I need to draw, like, a Flusterstorm or something, right? A Flusterstorm or a Force. I mean, even a Force, I'm not going to have enough blue cards. Yeah, they just have a cantrip, so... I mean, I drew too many Doomsdays for sure, but I did need a second Doomsday. I don't know. I'm not really convinced there was much I could have done in this game that would have gotten me to a spot where I was beating the cards my opponent had. I like bringing in Murktides in this matchup, and I like bringing in Negation. And then I like taking out Island, and I like taking out 2 Dark Rituals, and I like taking out Chain of Vapor. Oh, sorry. Maybe I take out Vampiric Tutor, not Demonic, sorry. 1 Dark Ritual, Vampiric Tutor, Chain of Vapor, Island, and Dark Ritual for 3 Murktides and a Negation. I don't know. My hand is obviously a keep, and I think I fired off at the right time, but I didn't have any Flusterstorms. My opponent found a Duress. Obviously, I don't have a Duress in my deck, so like that's, you know, point to them in deck building. They were also able to hit my Doomsday with a negation. Maybe I was supposed to force the negation. I like that was I could have gone harder, right? I could have forced the negation and just like gone for the win. Probably just should have gone for the win then. I didn't really feel like I was getting outdrawn at that point, but then maybe I just was. So maybe I just threw it away a little bit by not being super aggressive. It just felt like a pretty controlling 5-card hand. Like it wasn't a bad spot. I was still going to be able to like end of turn consider. I had up counter magic, but then they got to find a probe. They looked at my whole hand. I don't know. I maybe I'm supposed to lead on Undercity too, but I want to be able to like have another fetch land if I draw it. I'm sure. Black Lotus is certainly helpful as well. I probably needed to fetch in response in case my opponent like played Opposition Agent in their deck for some reason. I actually think this is probably a pretty decent weekend for Opposition Agent, considering there should be a lot of Doomsday in this event. Demonic Tutor. What am I doing with the Demonic Tutor, though? Just getting an Ancestral. I could go like Dark Ritual Demonic Tutor. Hold up an Ancestral on... I could just DT for a Force. I could Dark Ritual DT. It's probably fine to keep a Demonic Tutor here. Flusterstorm. Well, now I don't want a DT for a Force. I just wonder if it's like... Maybe I'm just supposed to go Dark Ritual DT for a Force. I have Force, Fluster, Misstep, and I can untap and Murktide. Is that a good use of a Dark Ritual? Maybe I just get Ancestral. Kind of like Ancestral here. Eh. Eh. I don't know. Maybe just Force is fine. Do I think this is enough to win on its own? I kind of do. I'm really hoping they just counter this negation too. Or if they just force this tutor, I'm pretty happy too. Not negation. Negation would be kind of bad. It is not open decklist unless you're IMAX level 1 who broadcasts his decklist to the world. Nope. I'll try this. No fetch. Interesting. Playing around Ancestral, so he probably has a Flusterstorm. Yeah. All right, I'd like to consider binning a spell and drawing a land or something like that. Well, I think I'm just going to keep that one. I kind of just want to draw a blue card now. Cool. All right, 7/7 Murktide, 3 attacks to win. We have Force, Fluster, Misstep to try to not die. We could theoretically let a Doomsday resolve, would put them to 9. Not the best number. It's like a pretty heavy permission hand. We have the clock favoring us now. Yeah. It depends on how much mana they have. Because we get in a position where we let Doomsday resolve and they have multiple cantrips in hand, it's like really bad for us, is the problem. I don't know. There was definitely divergent points in this game. The Demonic Tutor could have been very different. Probably be a good game to go back and analyze or a good match to go back and analyze. My opponent chose to put Underground Sea in their yard with the Undercity Sewers after a tank. I wonder if that means that they don't have a land in their hand. That would mean they have 6 spells in their hand, which is probably not good for me. Okay, here's a fetch land. 18. Still 9. Dark Ritual. I don't think I can fight over a Dark Ritual with my mental misstep here. Doomsday. 4 cards in my hand, and they go to 9. And they have 5 mana right now. Yeah, I think I have to force it. I'm fetching now. If they want to like Ancestral, I have the misstep, so. I think I'd rather have the misstep than the gush. I think it's fine if they cast Opposition Agent there. It means they use all their black mana, and I think I'm okay with that. I can mental misstep a Dark Ritual here if they have another Dark Ritual to pay. All right, I think I played that perfectly, so. I'm really happy with how I played that, but we have to figure out if this is good enough. Another Murktide. Doomsday cantrip is winning for them. Gosh. I can't let the Doomsday resolve. My opponent had a gush. What are you talking about? Dig? I think we lost. All we have to do is hit a Doomsday for the cantrip and we lose. I don't know. My opponent had just like really good draw spells in both their games, so. Another cantrip pre-Doomsday? They didn't use the ability, so. Oh, they have Oracle Console? I mean, whatever. I don't know. I played against a tough opponent. We played a tough mirror. I think I played really well, and I lost. But not really, not really much more to say. I really like how I played my mental misstep out with the fluster, knowing I could beat the second dark ritual to pay for flusters. It's like a really rough way to start the tournament, but it's tough. Hard tournament, good opponent, and we die. What's their deck list look like? They had Murktide as well. 2 Murktides. Mindbreak Trap, interesting. Days. Okay. All right, we're on to round 2 after having a kind of awful discussion about bans and restrictions in the chat, which is of course guaranteed to happen in a vintage stream, especially with new people entering. But it's okay because we get to palette cleanse now with a nice round 2 matchup versus Dredge. My opponent has already powdered a 7, 2 creeping chills, and a negation worth talking about. I'm looking for a fast combo hand. I did lose the die roll, so I'm on turn 2. Doomsday has a favored matchup versus Dredge, though not as favored as it was in the past for whatever reason. Post-board gets really good as you have combo and you have leyline. This hand, unfortunately, I think is a mulligan. On the play, it has like a little bit more game, but like I said, you really need a fast combo hand versus Dredge. They kept their 7-card hand, by the way, so that's not ideal. I don't know. So this hand, technically, like the MOCS is pretty nice, right? And the Chain of Vapor could buy us a 4 damage. It kind of just gains us a life. It's probably just not good enough. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. This hand just doesn't have any lands, so we can't keep this hand. This hand also doesn't have any lands. I agree. I think I would have kept the 7 on the play. I think I'm supposed to keep this hand and hope it works. I don't think going to 4 is helping me here. I'm gonna try keeping this one, and I'm gonna bottom the Vampiric Tutor, and I'm going to bottom the Thassa's Oracle. I mean, I think my opponent knows what deck I'm on. That might be a strategy, not me, if people don't know if you're not me. Not you, but if you're not me. I broadcast my deck to everyone, and I broadcast my hand to everyone. So I typically operate under the assumption that my opponent knows my 75. I don't think you're allowed to keep the 7-card hand on the draw mark. I think that is too weak. I think you lose a lot of games in Vintage by keeping hands like that when you're not allowed to. My opponent has no Creeping Chills in their deck. They discarded 2 Creeping Chills and exiled 2 Creeping Chills. I mean, this hand is quite good if I draw a mana. Sapphire. All right, I missed. I mean, not like Mark, you're on the draw, and you also need to be able to play through Griefs, Forces, Hollow. Like, it's just not a strong enough hand. All right, they have an Icarus in their yard, an Archamoeba. I mean, these dredges have been really bad for them. All they have is a Shambling Shell in their yard right now. Just, I mean, things are not really falling my way today, which is unfortunate. But unfortunately, like I use my 0 mana cantrips too. So even if I were to like draw a mana, I can't win the game on the same turn. I do think that if I had drawn a land on that turn, I probably have a high chance of winning the game. They have dredged very poorly. This is like some of the worst dredges I've ever seen. So like really good variance for us. All right. I don't like my deck losing to Archon of Emeria is why. So if I were to Doomsday now, I would go to 6 and I would take 4 and I would go to fetch. I'd go to 5 and I'd take 4 and I would not be able to force. So I don't want to Doomsday now. Instead, I want to cantrip and find a land. So I am going to fetch and ponder and try to find a land and win on the next turn. That's my plan. This game is still winnable because my opponent dredged so poorly. Like, no Creeping Chills in my opponent's deck. Only a Narcomoeba, very small dredgers, only 1 Icarid. Like, my opponent's variance was very, very bad for them. Dredge, Narset only works against Bazaar and dredging if the opponent doesn't have a dredger in their yard already. That's not like the whole story, but like that's part of the story. It's not usually favorable for you, is the answer. I don't think they have Wastelands in them. No one really plays Wastelands in the main of Bazaar anymore. I fetch an Underground Sea. I found another Underground Sea, which is, I think, the best draw here. So I will draw the Fluster, so I have another Force, I guess. And then I will draw the Underground Sea, and I'll go for the win. I mean, this looks like a possible win. And this is part of the reason why Dredge matchup versus why you want to play Bazaar, or why you want to play Doomsday against Dredge, that you have all these like ways to combo and win. Obviously, I don't think I win most of the time in this game from where we started, but my opponent like looks like they were very, very unlucky, I would say. So I'm going to take 4 and go to 7, and then I'm going to Dark Ritual Doomsday with Consider into the Gush Lotus line with double Force backup. Yeah, I think that means we just win. That's kind of crazy. I'll take the variance going my way, though. They have Mental Misstep plus Force. That would be me. I have to use... I can't fluster because I need the consider. Double force. Wow. Okay, so my hand is... I can surveil something away and then draw Gush, Lotus, Oracle. Yeah, and this is why you play Lurrus. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Gush, Lotus, Oracle. I don't even need to consider something away because I go 5 to 4, Gush to 2, cast the Oracle. So I'm just not even going to bother. I'm just going to put 2 random cards down. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Because I can't get Noxious Revivaled, right? All right. I will mill a card over just so I play around that. All right, so from the bottom, the Oracle, and then Oracle, Lotus, Gush, walk on top, surveil the walk away. Technically, this plays around. I guess it doesn't really play around an Noxious Revival, but whatever. I mean, this is why I mulligan. This is why I mulligan to a hand that does something. Now, obviously, I got a little unlucky to not draw mana in the beginning, and then very lucky for my opponent to dredge so badly. But you know, these are things that are part of Magic, right? So I have ley lines that come in here. I did not put a Tabernacle in my sideboard, which is something to remember when we play this game out. I cannot. But like, this is why, like, we were talking a lot in chat in between rounds, so the YouTube video is not going to have it, but we talked a lot in chat about why I think an open decklist tournament for Vintage is not very good for format diversity. And this is one of the reasons. When you know your opponent is on Dredge, when you know your opponent is on Initiative, when you know your opponent is on Jewel, when you know your opponent is on Mono White Initiative, I said Mono White Initiative already, but when you know they're on these non-linear decks and you need very specific sets of cards to win, having open deck lists means all of the blue decks perform better and all of those linear decks perform worse. And this game was kind of like that, where I knew my opponent was on Dredge. They powder their 7 and kept. So I'm allowed to now mulligan, use the power of the London mulligan to find a perfect hand that fits against exactly what they're doing. So I'm going to take out Negation, Island, Chain of Vapor, Necropotence, or Dig or something. I think this is fine. But yeah. I don't think open deck list is bad in general. I just find open deck list to be bad for Vintage. But I also find London Mulligan to be bad for Vintage. So there's a lot of things that happen in Vintage that don't exactly apply to all of Magic. This hand is great. I have a Force. I have a Leyline. I am probably priced into forcing a hollow one because my hand is not particularly fast. But my opponent kept another 7-card Dredge hand. My opponent could have Grief my Force into hollow one here, and I don't have, like I said, I don't have a Tabernacle in this build. So we are weaker against hollow one draws. I just chose to make my deck slightly weaker against Dredge to have more cards for mono. Okay, so they have the hollow one Force backup draw. Do I want to seek Street Race Cycle and possibly hit another Force? It has to be just Force. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just think like, this is so in general, I think that Tabernacle is not as good as it was because there are no Vine decks in the format. So you're not really getting the board wipes anymore. However, you know, the argument here is a little bit more sound where you kind of just like would like to have some hollow one answers, but Also, if my opponent is forcing my force to put through their hollow one, it means they're not forcing my combo, so. Now, if I play this Jet and then I time walk and then I get Vigored, I'll be very sad. But I still have like possibilities of comboing out, so. Again, I did lose round 1, so I do need to win 7 straight rounds, but we'll do our best. Also, I need to be aware my opponent can have Mind Break traps. My opponent's hand was Force, blue card, Vigor, green card, no Dredger, hollow one. Yeah. I mean, that game is not lost either. That's the nice part. Like, they still have to do, like, hit pretty high off their thing, and we still can combo, so. Consultation. So if I consider now, this is certainly a spot where consider is worse than preordained, right? That's something that's very important here. I'm just going to consider now. Consider is definitely a worse card in general than preordained at doing the Doomsday things, but it is better at enabling your ability to play Flusterstorm at instant speed and cast Murktide postboard. All right, so we have a nice end of turn thing if we want. I assume they just... So they had a misstep. They have 1 additional card. I assume they just naturally draw and attack for 4. We go to 12. I can fetch a land and consult for a Doomsday. What does that look like? So if I were to fetch, I would go to 11. So my Doomsday would be to 5. I mean, I could win theoretically as long as nothing goes like crazy bad and my opponent doesn't draw force or noxious or something. Or I can just surveil and see what we have on the top. All right, I will keep that card on the top. A good data pie. All right. And this is part of the reason why I chose to play Doomsday instead of playing Lurrus PO today. Because when I pair into Dredge, I want to actually have a good matchup instead of having a flaky one. All right, here we go in round 3 of the showcase. We got another Daybreak creator across the screen here. Let's see. No Lurrus. So I assume that's Jewel then. It feels hard to put this hand back, even though I don't have a force. So I'm probably going to keep this one. Definitely one where the Undercity Sewers could cost us, not being a Watery Grave. Though I could just lead on Undercity Sewers. Lots of choices, really. I do want to try to ponder for a force, though, especially if my opponent ends up on Jewel. So, yep. I mean, I totally agree. The good news, though, is the Undercity Sewers might not matter if I can ponder into a force and keep a Street Wraith, right? Because they could just go like Dark Ritual, Doomsday. But yeah, I mean, like I've never said there are no downsides to playing the Surveil land. I just think that the upsides are worth it, basically. But yeah, this is a hand where the Undercity Sewers could possibly be a downside. Depends on how the game plays out, though. All right, we just need to wait. I don't know if what our opponent's up to. Okay, so yeah, our opponent unfortunately tried to reconnect at least once, but then also disconnected again. And so after, 15 minutes plus 5, it looks like. They did not end up connecting the game, and so we actually get a bye here. Not as good as a bye because of tiebreakers and things, but obviously we'll take any win we can get, especially when we start 0-1. We need to win 7 straight rounds of Magic, which is not easy to do. I will see you in round number 4. Here we go. Round 4 Vintage Showcase against our arch nemesis, Unifro, the Oops All Spells player. I've got a hand that has a negation and a misstep, and a fluster. I'm keeping this one. This is a fun matchup because post board we get to go crazy control. MOCS resolves. I do have to counter like a super fast mana though, because I only have negation here. But if it's Dark Ritual, I have mental misstep. They want to negate this. It's likely that this is looking for a Lotus anyways, but I'd have to counter. I don't know. I feel like I have to hit that. Consider lets me hold everything up. Sweet. I definitely would have rather Flusterstorm the Demonic Tutor, but I think it's a worthy negation target. I mean, if they just have a 3-drop there, we were in trouble. So that's another reason to make sure we negate the Demonic Tutor. I play against this player quite a lot, yeah. I do need to get going in this game. I don't. This Undercity Sewers. Yeah, I'm probably gonna take this so I can DT this turn. Because I don't think Flusterstorm Mental Misstep is gonna cover me. I drew another land. I wish I could get Ancestral here, but I think I have to get Force. It's very unfortunate. I'd love to get Ancestral and just play to my opponent's combo, but I just can't because I'm tapped out, so very unfortunate. And then the question is going to be, what am I going to pitch? I kind of want to hold Mental Misstep for like the ball therapy. Very unfortunate. This game, if I was on the play, would be a lot easier. I do DT for Ancestral a lot versus this player, so they do know that I have that up in my wheelhouse. But from this spot, unfortunately, I can't get Ancestral. Definitely hitting that with Mental Misstep. They might just be baiting me for what it's worth, but I think I have to hit it no matter what. Ponder. Do I want to wait and just use City so I can have Force and Fluster? I think I want to wait. I don't think you can bluff there, no. I think I'm going to play this tap land instead. Worked pretty well. I'd also like to hold this Ponder in case I draw Doomsday because I win on the spot. Therapy. Yeah, I mean, that would have been great to get off this Mental Misstep, but you got it. Yep. Force down. All right. Consider. Let's ponder. Another Force. Then I can fetch away Sapphire Fetch. Yeah. think I'm supposed to consider here. I don't think I'm supposed to consider here. Ponder. Dark Ritual Flusters. I don't think I want either of these. I don't think I want another Flusterstorm. Probe. Definitely want Probe. Dread Returns, Spy, Force, Narcomoeba, Charbelcher. Holy hell. Okay. That is a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff. I don't think I want double Fluster. So I think I'm just casting this consider. Land. Graveyard. Force. Okay, I mean, I need to win the game, and I don't have a cantrip anymore. And they have a lot. I mean, they really, really don't want them to hit land. I really don't want them to hit land. Ancestral. Am I casting Ancestral? Am I holding Ancestral? That's a tough choice, too. I think... This match is so hard sometimes. I mean, they're going to lead Belcher, right? If I let the Spy resolve, they're not going to target themselves because they know they'll lose, right? There's no reason I would ever let Spy resolve. But also, I can't resolve this Ancestral with Flusterstorm backup, right? Because they have too much mana, which is what I would like to do, like on their turn right now. I'm just going to pass the turn. Dark Ritual. All right, now I could theoretically resolve. I could also hard cast a Force with this Dark Ritual. Yeah, they have 2 returns in their deck. I can use this Dark Ritual as a pitch cast for Force. Okay, here's the 4th mana. See what happens. But what they can do is they can spy, target themselves, use the therapy, and then Dread return it, maybe. I feel like they're just going to cast Charbelcher first. In which case, I can just Dark Ritual Force is probably the best play. Oh, man, it's so hard. They play really well, too, I must say. I assume this is Charbelcher. If it's not Charbelcher, are we letting this resolve? They have a Dread return. They have a Cabal therapy. They targeted. Yeah, they targeted me. That's what I thought they were gonna do. I wonder if I run out of lands. Could hit all my Thassa's Oracles. So now they're gonna therapy me, and I get to Flusterstorm it. They know I have Ancestral, because that's the only reason I wouldn't counter the Spy, right? Now they have a clock. Y'all are underestimating my opponent, I think. I think you're all... No, they're just like gonna use this therapy to get rid of cards out of my hand, and they're playing a slower game. I think it's pretty clear I have a force from this spot. So, like, now the question is, like, am I still using this Ancestral on myself now? Just trying to win the game? I feel like the answer is probably yes. Those cards do not win the game. Need a Doomsday. Where's my Doomsday, bro? It's just super winning. There's an Oracle and a Walk. I guess we Walk, and these cards don't do it. I think these cards are just bad. I think Walk is bad here. I'm really concerned we're going to throw this game away, because now they just get to therapy me and take my flusters and forces and stuff. The problem is this Ponder can't win the game. I guess I can find me Delve spells. Ugh, this is so bad for me. Here's a dig through time. I want to win the game on this turn. I don't want to go to their next turn. I feel like for some reason, I feel like we're going to lose if I go to the game on their turn. Do I even have a thing to fetch? I think I have an island to fetch. Do I want to fetch? I shuffled, so yeah. I just need to have a Doomsday and a cantrip. All right, I have a Doomsday and a Time Walk. So that works. Oh my god, this game got so close. So not Gush Ancestral because we're doing Time Walk. So let's just, I mean, it's definitely Gush and it's definitely Oracle. Oracle. Time Walk is putting us to the next turn. And then we go to 4 cards and we Gush to 2 cards and we play an Oracle. Does anything else matter? I guess like last card can be another Doomsday. And I guess I can put a Brainstorm underneath the Gush. Because I go to 2, we'll go to 4 for some reason. Probably fine. So last card, Doomsday. Second to last card, Oracle. Oracle, Brainstorm, Gush. Time Walk. Blue, blue. Gush. Land. Oracle. Okay. All right, now we get to play post board versus this. We get to bring in 4 ley lines, null rod, 3 Murktides, force, negation, and consign to memory. And then we board out 1 island, 4 dark rituals, 4 doomsdays, and an oracle. What was the other card? Oh, and chain. Do I like bringing out chain? Chain doesn't do anything, right? No, I actually like keeping consult. I'm gonna keep 1 consult, 1 oracle. Is usually what I like to do. Maybe like I should keep 1 doomsday in. And then, but then what am I taking? What else am I taking out then? Maybe I just take out console and I just like keep in 1 doomsday combo. Mental misstep is incredibly good against my opponent's deck. Their dark ritual deck. Just take this. Street Wraith is the worst because it's not a counter spell. Or not a blue card for force. Something like this. I like Vamp because I like to be able to Vamp for Null Rod. This is a really fun board plan, though. Blue-black control. I didn't keep 1 Doomsday last time I played against them, but I feel like there's a lot of value in having a Doomsday. I'm gonna just check their last list, too. They normally don't change their list, and they really haven't in the last year and a half, so... Vendettas, Chain of Vapors, Negations, Charbelchers, and a Mindbreak Trap. Sounds great. Exactly what we want to be doing. Counter spells, Fluster Storms, the threat. Love it. 7-card hand from them. No Chancellor. Black mana. Soul Ring. I don't really like countering Soul Ring. My turn. Ponder. Show me your secrets. Feels like cheating, because it is. They've got Force, Pact, Tinker, Spy, Spy. Wow, I would have gotten a lot of mileage out of countering this Soul Ring. I would have gotten a lot of mileage out of countering this Soul Ring. So they can Spy with double counter backup here if they have a land. So they have 5 mana. They cast Spy. I force Spy. They force... I mean, I'm just going to win with a Pact trigger here, right? Because I have double counter and Flusterstorm, so... So my opponent Dark Rituals, they play a Spy. I force. They force. I force. They Pact. And then I can't Fluster. So I have to Fluster second. And then I win. So as long as I don't Fluster last, I think it's fine. Oh, wait, does this not work? Because then they... Can I just never get this pack to resolve? I can't kill them with Pact here is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I can't kill them with Pact here. Because if they Pact my force, I have to counter their Pact. Because they just Pact my force is the problem. So I don't think I can actually ever kill my opponent here. I guess if I use the... I mean, I already tapped, so they know I have Flusterstorm, so... I mean, they're just not... they would have to misplay, is what I'm trying to say. And so if I hadn't tapped for Flusterstorm, then yeah, I should have... Then I should have negated. But yeah, all they would have to do is pack the other... Oh, they're just not going to? Okay. So they have pack Spy for the go again. I mean, I don't really have the shit to beat that, so... Got to draw another force. Consult Street Wraith land. I guess Consult is technically a force, but I can't cast this, right? So I have to hope that they don't draw a natural land off the top. If they draw a mana source that's not a land, I can negate it. Oh, but then they just kill me with negation. I'm just going to lose this game? Wow. That's crazy. Should I have countered Dark Ritual? No. Wow, I'm going to lose this game. That's wild. What, like, gets me the farthest? I guess I just draw the land and I ponder and try to find a force. Or I can consider and hit the Street Wraith and go for a blind. I guess going for a blind is worse. I think I have to keep this land. So I want to get one card deeper. So I'm going to keep the Street Wraith, cycle into the land, and cast Ponder, and try to hit a force off of this Ponder. I did not hit a force off of this Ponder. I did hit a DT, which is a force on the next turn. So I have to dodge one turn here. And then I can get another force. I don't really know if I want to even get another force. It's like so bad, isn't it? I mean, wouldn't I want to just get a... I guess a null... I mean, a force is better than a null rod, right? So I can just keep... I mean, I could keep Consult and Demonic. I could keep Consider and Demonic. And then that would give me another blue card. So I can keep the Murktide. Yeah, I think I have to fade. I think I have to fade. I did not fade. They just pack this and kill me. Yeah. All right. I mean, I think I would have won this game if I had countered Soul Ring. That's the problem here. That's crazy. I can't believe we lost this game. Was this my fault? I mean, I could have given my opponent a chance to mess up, I guess, but... Man. That's sad. I don't know. That's crazy. I needed a ley line. Man, that was like one of the best hands I can have, really. I like infinite counter magic. I don't know. I can't imagine I can just... I don't think I can just randomly counter the Soul Ring. I definitely should have negated the force so that I could have hoped that they targeted the wrong thing with Pact. That would give my opponent a chance to mess up. I don't feel like they would target the wrong thing with Pact for what it's worth. I have actually a lot of respect for the way my opponent plays this deck out. But I should definitely have done that. But I couldn't really do that after I tapped for Flusterstorm and untapped. So Damn. I'm not really sure what my correct play was. That I feel like that hand should be winning most of the time. My opponent didn't really. They only had 2 pieces of permission, but they did have 2 payoffs, 2 pieces of permission, 2 payoffs, and the mana, and they hit like mana to pay for both of them. I guess that is like best possible hand, right? Like it's the best possible hand that doesn't win on turn 1, and probably you don't need to win on turn 1 because you're playing against control. So it might just be like close to the best possible hand. Like obviously, if the Dark Witch was a more of a permanent mana source, it's better. Like a mana crypt, I guess. I feel really bad about that game, but I'm not really sure what I did wrong, so I have to go back and look, I guess. Yep. Leyline, fetch, pass. Consider holding open Flusterstorm, and then Ancestral holding open Flusterstorm. I mean, they have 4 Belchers. We can get Belch for sure, but like you can't mulligan this hand, so. If my opponent Dark Rituals, I have Self Fluster, right? So it's fine. We're definitely using this Ancestral earlier than normal because we'll have the Leyline and they won't be going for the. They'll be less likely to go for that kill. Mulligan to 6 from the opponent. Maybe I had to shuffle the Ponder and just try to draw Force, but that doesn't feel right. All right, well, we just focus on this game. Focus on this game. Our plays are pretty straightforward this game. I guess the thing we have to consider is if we want... thing we have to consider is casting Consider or casting Ancestral on the first end step. Because I don't really want my Ancestral to be forced, because I do want action, but... there's definitely a lot of upside to getting an early Ancestral. But I can probably wait, because I have Fluster. I can do it on my turn, I guess. I don't know if I would do it on my turn. They have negations technically, so probably wouldn't do it on my turn. But I guess it also bumps my Flusterstorm, so there's upside there. All right, my opponent kept a 6-card hand. I fucking clicked through my Leyline. Okay, well. I waited so long that I clicked through my Leyline. That's crazy. It didn't like it highlighted and I just hit F2 instead of clicking it. I just got iced. The kicker got iced. That's crazy. I'm gonna lose this game so badly now. Holy shit. I just drank. It's not that I got iced. I was sitting here waiting so long that by the time I finally got to keep my hand, I just clicked through it. Narcomoeba. I guess they're setting up for some Cabal therapy stuff. It's so frustrating, but... I'm just gonna bin this. Why Leyline in hand? Why indeed? That's so sad. Okay. Well, we gotta play through it. I assume I'm getting double therapied, but I'm not exactly sure. I think they're just gonna take it super slow, and we're not gonna be able to do the ancestral play. Yep. I guess I could theoretically force this pitching Murktide. And then they'll just wait till the next turn and fluster me again, though. What am I supposed to fucking do now? I guess I can Ancestral myself and then fluster this. Is that good? I mean, we're not going to get a 2-for-1. My opponent's just going to let it resolve, and then they're going to take my Force of Will anyways. It's just so bad for me. Oh. That's kind of interesting. I can't hide all of them, right? I mean, are they just going to name Fluster if I hide 2 forces? I mean, what if I guess... I don't think I'm dying on this turn, so... Not using my Brainstorm to put away my ley lines is kind of silly, though. I think they're just going to name Fluster on me. Aren't they just going to Cabal Therapy the forces away next turn? I guess I can at least, like, leave one on top. At least now they don't think I clicked through the ley line. Come on, not me. All 250 of you saw me click through the ley line. What do I care about Unifro thinking if I click through the ley line or not? Oh, man. So sad, dude. This game's so easy. They named Doomsday, and they hit? That's kind of crazy. That's so crazy. Oh, they're just gonna therapy again right away and take my Murktide Regents. Oh no, wait, chat, wait, they're gonna take my Murktide Regents. I have to force this. That's crazy. I have to force this. Lotus combo kill me. I can play both regions here and like. Oh. Okay. Chain of Vapor. All right. Rest in peace, 8-8 Murktide region. You tried your best. My big dragon. I should have made my dragon less big. My bad. Should have made it a 7/7. 4 mana pass? That's a sick draw. What the fuck? That's crazy. Oh, I can't play this again because I pitched. I can't play it again because I pitched a Ponder away. That's too funny. Okay, my bad. It's fine. No Murktide yet. Okay. And I got a land drop. Oh, no hard cast force. I'm kind of surprised, actually. Ah, fell the profane. Yeah, I have to force this. I'm just gonna pitch the other Murktide, right? It's like way too hard to cast. They probably think the way is clear. Oh, I gotta get chained again? I'm getting chained again, aren't I? I think I'm getting chained again. Should I just keep Force Fluster? I guess. We both boarded the combo out? Sure. Sure. Black. Black. White. Blue. Belcha? I got Force with Fluster back up at least. Spy. Counter. I mean, they know I have Fluster, so I kind of want to draw a land to play Leyline. Oh my god, I lose to a second spy! No! Game, please, bro! Oh, it's a Char Browser, we're safe. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, GG. Oh no, I'm so Oh my god. I need a beer. What I need is a beer. Because this game is so easy if I just put a ley line in play. If I just simply have a ley line in play, this game is so easy. Oh my lord. Exclamation mark F6, exclamation mark pro play, exclamation mark ego. Oh. All right. Welcome, gamers, to round 5 of 8 in this vintage showcase event. We've got Hall of Famer Gab Nassif, Bob the Dog, Yellow Hat across the table. I was watching some of his games earlier in the stream, so this might be karma coming back to get me. It's our hardest matchup in blue-black Lurrus control. We'll see what we can do. I would keep this hand if it had a mana, but I do not, so I'm not going to keep this hand. Let's mulligan. Okay, I will keep this hand. I'm going to bottom the Thassa's Oracle and then hit done. What do you got for me? One of their 3 Moxen and Time Walk. Double restricted card turn 1. Seems good. 5 cards in hand. We might have to set up some crazy Doomsday pile here. Like being able to theoretically mill something over with Surveil to the point where it's like it'd be like Lotus. It'd be like land. No, it'd be like Lotus, land, Oracle, land, Oracle or something. Some kind of weird pile. Nihil Spellbomb. Yep, that's fine. Street Wraith. This is technically a game-winning turn 1 play if we want to go for it. I'm willing to see what happens. Oh, I don't really want to play a long game versus blue-black anyways. Let's see what happens. Lotus, Street Wraith, Lotus, consider bin 1 an Oracle, and then I can play land Oracle again. It's actually not that bad. Because consider is actually really interesting here. Wow, that's actually kind of a pretty resilient pile for a turn 1 all-in. Lotus. Cantrip probably. Oracle. Street Wraith down to 4 cards, considered down to 2 cards. Play an Oracle. If it doesn't work, I still have land second Oracle. Wow, that's actually really sick. I haven't actually gotten to do that yet with consider. It can be a force too, if we want. Or it could be another land. Yeah, one of those two things. Tanking here means they either have a counter or they're thinking about using a spell bomb, or they're thinking about letting it resolve and playing a bowmaster, maybe. It's one of those things. Wasteland is certainly an issue. That is an issue with that pile, yeah, for sure. But you could also put, yeah, I think no matter what, you're gonna lose to a Wasteland in that pile, unfortunately. But it doesn't lose to force, which is nice. They might just go for a bowmaster, and then I have to do my math again. But I think we win through a bowmaster here. No, they're gonna crack the spell bomb. I did consider mental misstepping the spell bomb. All right, they're letting this happen. I could also get dazed still. Okay, so I think I like my idea of Lotus. And then if they counter Lotus, I could put a land underneath, right? So I'm thinking like Lotus land, Oracle, Oracle, and another land. So this would let me Street Wraith into Lotus, consider binning a land into Oracle, play an Oracle, and still give me land Oracle. If Lotus gets countered, then I get to draw land, play consider. It's not very good. So maybe I need to have Ancestral as my second card. I have Ancestral as my second card. That way, if Lotus was to somehow get countered, I could then Ancestral. But then if I Ancestral, then I would not have enough mana at the end. So it doesn't really do anything for me here. So is there anything better than... So I'm just like thinking, I think I want land at the end. And then like I'm trying to think if it is like if I have a second card here that may or may not get binned with consider, what it makes the most sense. Maybe like baiting with force of will. So I could put force. I could go Lotus, force, Oracle, land, or Oracle, land, or Oracle, land, Oracle. I can Street Wraith into... It's always Street Wraith into Lotus here, and then Consider. I think that just always happens. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's better to put like a land or to bluff with a force. Well, I don't think it matters because I think like our plays are always forced, right? So it's like, what do they have? They could have spell, like, you know, they can have a million different things here that all interact with me, like Spell Pierce. But we can't play a land. This is turn 1. I mean, if they have nothing, we just win with the pile we make. If they have something, they could have Fatal Push. Should we play around Fatal Push? That's an interesting question. So it could be Lotus, Consider, banning a card, and then I could put... So I could go all in playing around Fatal Push and instead put extra Street Wraiths in. Instead of second Oracle C, I could put... But I have Misstep, so like I don't think I need to do that. I'm not sure my second card matters. Because Ancestral can't ever win with the play that I want to make. So what I should do is put a Street Wraith as my second card or Gataxian Probe as my second card down. What if I... Does it matter? Does it matter? If I just don't bin with Consider and I instead put a Probe, does that help me? So instead of Consider, what if I put a Probe here and then I go Street Wraith into Lotus, Lotus into Consider, Consider into Probe, Probe into Oracle? That doesn't help me though, because it doesn't change my play, right? It never changes my play at all. But it does mean that if Consider gets countered, I get to cantrip on the next turn. So that would be something. So I can put Oracle below C. Well, there's no way, like, I guess I can put Probe for Lotus. Street Wraith into Probe. But again, that doesn't change. Doesn't change. Yeah. I think this is what I'd like to do. I'm trying to see if it changes if I probe first. I don't feel like it does. Oh, but I could just at least beat... I don't want to beat two things. I'm going to try something like this. There could be a better pile than this. But I'm just going to play it like this. And then I'm going to play Oracle on the bottom, land above Oracle, Oracle on the top, Oracle above that, and then... Do I want to probe? Yeah, whatever, sure. If they misstep this, I don't actually have to misstep back. Oh, they have nothing. They have Fatal Push. Can we beat Fatal Push? Yes, we have misstep. Okay, cool. And they had the strip mine. Oh, they didn't even bother. Oh, yeah, here's the push. Okay, cool. I don't think the probe did anything to help me here, so. I like my pile, but I think it could have been better. I just don't know what it was. That was about the maximum amount of time I wanted to spend. So I'm surprised they went. So I guess they had a choice of going with draw a card off of Spellbomb or going draw a card off of Spellbomb, hold up push, or going for Bowmaster. I don't think the Bowmaster ever wins on its own. I didn't do the math fully out because my opponent tapped out, so I just discarded it. But well, I know they're blue-black because we watched them play earlier. So, all right. So these Murktides are going to be great. That's the whole point of the Murktides, and that's the whole point of these Fatal Pushes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take out Negation, and we're going to take out Chain, and we're going to take out Necro, and we're going to take out Vampiric, and we're going to take out a Dark Ritual. And then we can consider not taking one of these out and take out another Dark Ritual, but... Oh, well, if you didn't know that Doomsday cost half your life, then not Street Wraithing makes more sense. That's pretty funny, actually. I didn't, or not Bowmastering. I didn't do the math fully out on if I could still combo through a Bowmaster. It would have put us to 10. Oh, if they Bowmastered pre-hand, we would have actually gone to 9. And then we would Street Wraith down to 7, down to 6, Consider down to 5. Yeah, it doesn't do enough. It's the Street Wraith, the Bowmaster would not be enough, no matter what. So it's actually definitely correct to crack Spellbomb. Bowmaster against Doomsday is good, but it's not like incredible. It's only okay. I don't know about Necro, but I think this looks fine. It might be better just have Necro to have more action, but... Yeah, of course. Like, the longer the game goes, the better the Bowmaster is, for sure. But people think that like Bowmaster stops Doomsday from comboing when that's not really the case. What Bowmaster really stops Doomsday from doing is sitting there forever cantripping, which are two very, very different things. But I think most people don't understand that Bowmaster is not actually stopping the Doomsday from comboing most of the time. Like, at some point, by stopping it from cantripping a lot, it does eventually stop a combo, but it's like very particular. And you can build a lot of Doomsday piles that involve things like fetching and time walking that just don't draw cards to the point where the Street Wraith doesn't, or the Bowmaster doesn't matter. I'm cold, man. I need to put the heat on, I think. But the heat is on. I have no idea. I mean, chat could have told him, but I don't know if he read it. You know, who knows? Man, this hand needs a land. Sag. I mulliganed last hand too, right? I think I mulliganed. Okay. This is a tough matchup, so I'll take any kind of wins we can get. Looks at their top card. Basic Island. Interesting. I would not keep Basic Island in this matchup. I'm just going to ponder. If they want to spell pierce this is fine. Nice. I think I want all of these cards, don't I? I want Misstep, and then I want to draw the land and give myself the option of keeping Consider. Could always Street Wraith into it too. I like where we're at right now. We even have a Fatal Push for a Frog or a Bowmaster. And then we have the big boy, Murky Boy. Excuse me. I'm gonna get Sweatshirt. All right, all right, all right. Ancestral? Oh, island cycle, sure. Probe. I don't think I want them to know what's in my hand. I don't know if that's like more valuable than being able to counter a spell pierce or not, but we can either use Fatal Push or Ancestral as bait on off-color Moxen, I guess, technically. Strip Mine! Bro. Why do I fetch basics, chat? Why do I ever fetch basics, chat? So we have to think of, do we want the Consider or not? My opponent does nothing this turn. I think we want the Consider. If my opponent taps for a Lurrus, I think we want the... I mean, we might just be jamming Ancestral here if they tap for a Lurrus. I didn't fetch the basic. Well, why do I even play a basic? Just, why do I even bother? I'm not sure, like, if they tap out, right? The only thing they can counter Ancestral with is a Force. I guess they can counter it with a Daze, but the things that, like, make it so the Murktide gets countered, so... Like, resolving a Murktide is better than resolving an Ancestral in this current spot, I think. Three cards in my opponent's hand. By Lurrus. All right, what are we doing? Are we cycling Street Wraith, getting a Consider and casting Consider? I feel like we are. I want to cast this Ancestral before I get Bowmaster, though. I don't think you want to cast this Murktide here. Isn't this Murktide more important than the Ancestral? But I guess, like, leaving mana open... Oh, this, like, lets me play around days. I think I want that. I wanted to Consider, is what I wanted. So... I wanted to cast the Consider. I just wanted cards in the yard to get a Murktide in play. If my opponent Force of Wills this, am I casting Ancestral? They have Lurrus plus 3 unknowns in their hand. I mean, I'm not sure that Nassif knows about the Murktide pivot. They're on 2 dazes or 1 days. I'm not 1 days maybe. I actually don't remember their deck list. It's the Alberto list, I think, actually. If I remember correctly. So the Alberto list was 1 day's main. Yeah, just 1 days. No answers to Murktide. They have the Force. Pitching the days. Pitching the days. I guess we're gonna Ancestral then and hope they don't have Spell Pierce. They have Lurrus plus 1 unknown, but they played this entire game like they have Spell Pierce Fluster. Oh, it's so bad for me. Is the last card Spell Pierce Fluster? So freaking bad. I still have a fetch land to kill Lurrus at least, so there's still some upside. I wish I had baited with the Ancestral, but then I would have gotten dazed, so. All right, my opponent has Lurrus and an unknown that wasn't a Spell Pierce or a Fluster. I now have a Dig and a Doomsday. I feel pretty good. They are going to get to draw a card with Lurrus, though. All right, they didn't like the card. I'm going to lead push. If they counter, it gives us chances to win. I guess if it gets negated, it's actually really bad for me, though. Because that means I won't be able to go, like, dig into Dark Ritual, Street Wraith, Force back. That's kind of wild. They drew Force blue card off this. I can't wait too long with this Lurrus drawing a card every turn. I guess the question is going to be, if they Force of Will this, am I letting the Force of Will happen and then digging with a mana open? Or am I going to respond to the Force and dig with no mana open? Well, they just lost a life, didn't they? I thought they lost a life. I don't know. Also, we're running out of things to fetch for. We only have one more push in our deck. But like we'll basically stop trying to kill the Lurrus and we'll try to win immediately is basically the plan. They definitely lost a life when they did that, right? I'm not crazy. Pretty sure they did. I wouldn't have said this if they didn't. I only have 2 fetchables left, and one of them is a tap land, so I have to be a little careful here. Because I boarded the island out. No, wait, I didn't board the island out, but I also used the island. It got strip mined, right? So. I kind of want them to force this, but I'm pretty happy if they don't. It's not really straightforward. This resolves. I'm pretty sure I want them to force this dig through time. Unless they drew Spell Pierce. Which would make me not want to dig through time. Also kind of want to save this Ancestral. Maybe I'll wait. I think I can wait. Four cards in my opponent's hand, including Force blue card. 3 cards in my opponent's hand, including hard cast Force. Playing a card? Frog. So they have Force blue card plus Frog. Yep. It's very good. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think we know they have Force. So we go Dark Ritual Doomsday, and we get them to Force, and then we dig. Though it does go pretty badly if they let it resolve. Maybe we just have to dig. Feels pretty bad. I think we actually are going to dig first because I guess there's a chance this Dark Frog does not kill us. And they have to force pitch cast here. Well, I still want to play around Spell Pierce. You keep talking about playing into the Spell Pierce, and I think it's very possible they drew into a Spell Pierce. I want them to use Force Pitch card. So I didn't want to dig at end step because I didn't want to play into Spell Pierce. I'm not saying you're wrong. It really depends on what the blue card is. It was Dress Down. Like, this is so much better for me, right? Like, them losing the Dress Down is really good. All right, so I will cast Doomsday and go to 6. And then I am going to... What is my best? Do they play Vexing Bauble? No. So my best is Gush. It's Gush Ancestral. Hope they don't draw. Oh, my Gush is... No, yeah. It's Gush, Ancestral, Oracle, Gush, Ancestral, Oracle Force, Oracle Fluster, Oracle. So if I Gush 2 mana, up 2 mana, play a mana, 6 mana, I can still Ancestral into Oracle, and a Fluster. But if I have to wait, it's kind of bad. How many consigns? 2 consigns. So I guess what I do is put a Time Walk in the pile. So Gush Ancestral, Oracle Time Walk Oracle. Do I die to a Bowmaster with this pile? No. Oh, but I guess if I get if I go to 4, I guess I can't Ancestral back up. So it doesn't really make sense to put Ancestral second. So I can Gush 4 down to, but I don't want, I guess if I Gush into Time Walk Oracle, Gush, draw 4, down 2 cards to 2, Gush, Time Walk Oracle, and then what's my last card? If I go Gush to Oracle, I could put a push. I don't feel like I need a push though. Gush, Time Walk Oracle. 6 mana, Time Walk Oracle. But I never can use the Fluster, so it doesn't really make sense to add a Fluster. Gush, Time Walk Oracle. Because I'm never drawing. It's just a 5th card that doesn't matter, right? So I guess it could be a land, theoretically. Like, play around Fatal Push, I guess. So I could put, like, an Undercity Sewers in the bottom, which lets me fetch it and put my things down to 0. If that's something that we're interested in. It could be another Doomsday, but I feel like I'm going to die to a frog before I would ever cast another Doomsday. But I don't really need another land. And I'm going to probably use my land anyways. I could just... I feel like Fluster matters, but I don't think Force matters either. Maybe I just bait them with a Fatal Push. I don't think this 5th card matters, and I'm not going to just go crazy about it. So I'm just going to put this in plays around Fatal Push for whatever reason. And so, yeah, I don't know. Something like this is probably close. With Undercities as the last one, Oracle as the second to last one. Oracle, Time Walk. Yeah, Oracle, Time Walk, Gush, F6. Well, I have land off of my Gush. I can just replay land. If they draw a counter, we're just dead to Frog, right? We also beat double Bowmaster, right? Or no, we beat one Bowmaster, but we don't beat double Bowmaster. The only thing I could have changed, I think, the only thing I would have done in this game differently is maybe I would have gone end step. Maybe I would have gone end step dig through time into possible spell pierce. Right? Like that's a really big divergent point is when I cast that dig through time. It's tough. All right, paying costs. They have a dig. If they have a dig, I can't really beat a dig. Looks like they have a delve or something. Can't really think I can beat that. Oh, it's a Bowmaster. We beat one Bowmaster. If it's two Bowmasters, we lose, but... So here we play the land out in case they have... We play the fetch land out in case that they have... Because it doesn't matter if I play this out. Well, it does matter for Spell Pierce, but if they have Spell Pierce, they die. So... Play the fetch land out. Play an Oracle. Okay. I like that pile. I think that pile was good. I don't know that my line is better, but I was very worried about Spell Pierce, right? That was what I was considering or thinking about in the opportunity of playing Dig versus not playing Dig on his end step. I'm pretty worried about Spell Pierce this whole game, so... But it does give me a lot more mana to use if they do end up forcing my end of turn Dig. Obviously, it's a lot better for me going into my next turn, right? So that was a cool match. We just beat one of the hardest matchups for the deck versus one of the best players in the world. So very happy about that one. All right, welcome Vintage Gamers. Round 6 of 8. We need to win 3 more. We're up against, I believe, Mono White Initiative, if I remember seeing this correctly. All right, best breaker opponent. On the play, good matchup. I've got a turn 1 kill. Okay, turn 1 kill. I do have a turn 1 kill through a Chancellor as well. I'm just going to do this nice and quick. Opponent's already F6'd. So I just want to Street Wraith into Black Lotus. And then cast Ponder. I will Street Wraith into Black Lotus is 4 mana. Ponder into Ancestral is 3 mana. Street Wraith into Black Lotus is 4 mana down to 4 cards. Ponder into Ancestral is down to 3 cards. Ancestral down to 0 cards, and one of them is a force, so I beat Solitude at least. So I will go Black Lotus, Ancestral, Force, Oracle, and Force, I guess. I don't know. Last card doesn't matter, I think. I believe my opponent's F6, and I believe they're mono white initiative, so that's the reason I'm doing it this way, I guess. I can theoretically, if I don't know that they are for sure on it, I can put... I mean, there's no reason to put a second Oracle, because if they counter Ancestral anyways... Maybe it just doesn't matter. I guess I'll just put a second Oracle. I don't actually have to Wraith into Lotus because I technically have this extra mana already. So I can just Wraith into Ancestral. Doesn't matter, whatever. As long as I have Lotus and Oracles. I don't think it matters. I would have. I wish I had done the other order, but this is fine. Okay, mono white initiative. I have 2 fatal pushes and 2 snuff outs, as well as a negation on the draw. I have my Chain of Vapor in the main. I don't need a Mental Misstep. I don't need a Cataxium Probe. I don't need Flusterstorms. Yeah, so basically I'm going to 0 because if my opponent Solitudes, then it would not affect the trigger. So yeah, at that point I was trying to get like a Force backup and a Solitude backup, and it's all just doesn't really matter very much. Right. So if the trigger's on the stack, it's not like it's when it resolves. So if they get rid of the Thassa's Oracle, then the devotion is 0. And if I have cards left in my deck, it wouldn't work. I'm pretty sure that this is just my thing. Misstep, Probe, Flusterstorms out, negations and removal in. And then go. Or maybe I could take out Necropotence as well. I don't know. Something like this. I assume this wins the game. Doesn't actually win the game without drawing a good card, does it? I guess if I Demonic for an Ancestral, I can vamp into something, maybe. Need to see how many people are playing Mindbreak Traps at the moment. I guess this hand's kind of bad against Vexing Bauble, but... Null Rods. There are 3 Mindbreak Traps, wow. This one has no Mindbreak Traps. No Mindbreak Traps. Well, I think Doomsday was by far the best choice for me for this event, so... Thanks. All right, so there's 2 Chancellor triggers on the stack. They have a Null Rod, or are we just passing with that? No way they play a Thalia, right? Oh, they have the Vexing Bauble. Wow. All right, well, we can at least throw something into the Vexing Bauble. Snuff out, too. Crazy. So what's my best play? I think my best play is... Oh, man, I really don't want to pass without playing a bunch of stuff. But I might need to vamp. I won't be able to snuff out if they keep the Vexing Bauble in play, but they might not keep the Vexing Bauble in play. This is actually really tough. I think the answer is throw the Sapphire away into the 2 Chancellor triggers. They only have 2 unknown cards. And then I'll just play a fetch land and pass, because I don't actually think there's a really good like Dark Ritual Demonic here. I could theoretically go Underground Sea, Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Demonic, Doomsday, but I think that's just like way too weak. Gonna get a Fatal Push or something, or get a Wastelanded or something. So I'm just gonna pass. See if they crack this bauble or not. No cracking the bauble, it seems. They have another cavern, so is this gonna be Archon then? This one was human, which is interesting. This could be Cleric. Cleric. Do they have a Peacekeeper? Peacekeeper is so bad for me. Okay, it's just a White Bloom Adventure. That card doesn't matter. So my best play is just Ancestral Recall. True or false? Am I supposed to like Ritual Demonic? What if I vamp for a Time Walk? No. Trying to think if there's like a Time Walk line where I vamp for a Time Walk, or if I vamp for a land and then I Dark Ritual into Demonic Time Walk. No. Just like thinking about like vamping land. Is vamping land like more useful? I could go like vamp land, Demonic Ancestral. Their hand is Plains Chancellor Unknown with a Blight Plume in play. I would then be able to. I mean, if I vamp for a land, I could also theoretically just go Dark Ritual, snuff out this White Plume if they plus on it, and it'll give me a lot of time. And then I can go Demonic for something else later. Seems like a little bad. I'm just like super worried that if I vamp for an Ancestral, I cast Ancestral, and I don't draw cards that let me play the game. If I vamp for a land, and then I go Dark Ritual, and then I go Demonic Doomsday, and that gives me down to 10 life. My opponent forges and puts me to 5, and then if they have like another, like if they have their last card, if this is a human, is probably Seasoned Dungeoneer, so they would just kill me on the spot. I think I'm definitely vamping. I just don't know what I'm vamping for. Like the only way you name human on this first one here is if you have a Seasoned Dungeoneer, right? I assume. Do I get a lot of value by getting a land and passing and holding open Snuff Out? Is there a win if I go for a chain? No. I'm really, really, really worried that this Ancestral Recall is not going to draw me action, but I do think it's the best in terms of trying to win this game. Like, it's the percentage chance this Ancestral hits me a land anyways is like super high, right? I really wish this Vexing Bauble was not in play. I think this game is extremely easy if there's no Vexing Bauble. I guess I technically have Dark Ritual, Snuff Out. Let's see what happens. I guess with the Vexing Bubble in play means we're not getting Mind Break traps. They're just going to go for as much damage as possible. What's up, Hero? Okay, it's just Seasoned Engineer. That means we just win, I think. Nice. So on our turn, we go Dark Ritual, Demonic, Doomsday, consider something, and win, I assume. We just have to time walk into some kind of pile. We want to keep this consider to cantrip through our Doomsday. So all we want to do here is fetch a Surveil land. Best draw is a Doomsday of its own, so I can like get a time walk. Feel like that. Does that matter? If I land, I Dark Ritual, Demonic, Doomsday. Wait, how do I time walk though? Because I need extra mana, don't I? Because of Vexing Bauble? Does this not actually work? Maybe I have to bottom this and find a Street Wraith? But I'm actually going to 2 now, so I can't actually Street Wraith. Did I just lose this game? What am I missing? Was playing this fetch land bad? Oh, maybe what if we consider to a chain bouncing the bauble? That gives us an extra jet mana. I think Brainstorm is better because Brainstorm lets me draw better cards. So I think in that case, Brainstorm is better because if we brainstorm into our pile, we can then find like Lotus, Oracle, Chain, or something like that. So I think it's actually better to take this Brainstorm. So I'm going to do Brainstorm, and I'm going to go Dark Ritual, and then I'm going to go Dark Ritual, and then I'm going to go Demonic Tutor. And then with my Demonic Tutor, I'm going to get a Doomsday. And with my Doomsday, I'm going to Brainstorm into a pile that includes Chain of Vapor, Black Lotus, Thassa's Oracle. I Brainstorm, and I draw 3, and I put back Consider Snuff Out. I guess actually I put Gush in the pile as well. So if I Brainstorm 3 deep, putting back Consider and Snuff Out, and then I get myself Lotus, Gush, Chain of Vapor. I Chain of Vapor the Bauble, and then I go Gush into the 2 cards that I drew, which one of them is Consider, and Consider into an Oracle. I don't need 2 Oracles, though. Maybe I'll just put a Time Walk in there to be safe. So, all right, I'm going to think this through one more time. So I resolve this and I Brainstorm. My Brainstorm is going to draw me Gush, Chain of Vapor, and Time Walk. I bounce this Bauble. I Gush, into whatever 2 cards I put back. So it's still these same cards. And I can go MOCS, Lotus, Time Walk, whatever. I think I'm messing something up in terms of something here is unnecessary, but something like this should work. I think it's just... I don't think I need this Black Lotus, actually. So it's just... whatever. Time Walk. On the bottom, Oracle... Lotus Gush Chain. Oh, this should probably work. My opponent could have Mind Break Trap. Something like this should be fine. I'll bait with this Lotus. Because this all still wins, I think. Oh, no, it doesn't still win. Okay, I played that badly then. All right, that pile was not correct. You have Mind Break Trap, last card. No. Could have Solitude too. I didn't go deep enough. Okay, so that was all wrong. Something there was wrong. So what I should have done, at the very least, I should have put the Time Walk ahead of the Oracle so that I could consider the Time Walk away, and Oracle was 0 cards in my library. That's at least something. So maybe it's just the Time Walk is not necessary, but then like what is necessary? Like what is supposed to be there? Nothing? Does anything matter? I think in the... So like if my opponent has a trap, can I ever beat it? No, opponent should definitely not have a Solitude still in their deck. I mean, this is definitely the power of playing the first chain, by the way. This is just the best part about chain. I think no matter what, they can just Mind Break Trap, anything, and they would win, right? So there's no reason to play around Mind Break Trap, because they could have Mind Break Trap Doomsday. They could have Mind Break Trap the first spell after Doomsday. And then... So really the only thing that changes here is... Did I need this consider to win? Well, their opponent's playing against mono white initiative, so there's really no reason to put a Flusterstorm in, because they could have trapped at any point. We do know that in their hand, there's a Chancellor and 2 unknowns or something. Maybe this... So I had Chain, Lotus, Gush. I can go Chain, Lotus, Ancestral, right? Why did I go Gush? Well, Gush gave me a land drop, or did it not give me a land drop? Did I already play a land at the start of this turn? I already played a land. Oh, I think I played that whole sequence like I thought I had an extra land drop. I didn't actually have a land drop. Where'd the Sapphire go? Oh, I threw the Sapphire into the thing. Oh, maybe I'm looking at the wrong turn. No, I played Underground Sea at the start of this turn, and then I went Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor, Doomsday. So I didn't have a land drop. I brainstormed into Chain of Vapor. As long as my Chain of Vapor, as long as I'm brainstorming into Chain of Vapor, Ancestral / Gush, and Lotus, I think it doesn't matter. So the only thing is I could have changed Gush into Ancestral. And yeah, please get the, no, you know the cost difference between Snuff Outs? No shot. Yeah, okay, that's a good win. I mean, this is why you play Doomsday, so you can just farm mono initiative. Again, like I think so far my deck is lined up perfectly against what I wanted to play against. Like I played a 2-0 versus Dredge, a 2-0 versus mono white, a tough set against Utal spells, but that's a really good matchup. Like we lost a Doomsday Mirror, yeah, that happens, but we actually beat Lurrus as well. So I'm pretty happy so far with both play. I think we played really well today, and I'm very happy with the matchup selection and the deck selection for the tournament. Okay, welcome back. Round 7 of 8. We still need 2 more wins. We got a Taxi Probe across the table. Could be anything, really. Doomsday, Dredge, Esper, Lurrus, the last 3 played. My hand is not particularly good. My opponent has not revealed a Lurrus. But I do technically have not a turn 1, right? Because I can Vamp for a Demonic and Preordain. I can Vamp, Demonic, no turn 1, but... is this a mulligan? Yeah. Turn 2, no permission. It's not that bad against Dredge. It's pretty bad in a Doomsday Mirror, but even then it's not like the worst. This is not a great hand by any means. I think I'm going to try keeping it though. Drawing up permission is good. Maybe not. It's really tough, actually. It's a really tough choice. There are definitely worse hands than this. If my opponent is Dredge, is this hand good enough? This hand's pretty good if my opponent is on... it's not really. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. They kept 7. I'm mulligan this hand. This is not a good hand against Dredge, but I think I'm just gonna keep this one in bottom of land. I think at some point you have to make sure you keep a 6. Let's see what it is. Sand's also not very good in the Doomsday Mirror, but... Like, I don't think my first hand was good enough against Doomsday to justify keeping it. Okay, it is a Doomsday Mirror. So I definitely didn't like my first hand against Doomsday, so... If I draw a Flusterstorm, then... I can hold up Consider. If I don't, I probably just have to Ponder. This is not a great Doomsday Mirror hand. No counter spells, no fast combo. Don't really like it very much. Makes sense to play against Doomsday up here at the 5-1 bracket. All right, they did not shuffle with Ponder. Okay. Force, maybe? DT. Oh, boy. Don't think I'm allowed to Dark Ritual DT for anything here. I could theoretically hold up and Consider and act like I have a Flusterstorm. Might be worth it. The mirror's tough. I don't think the mirror is like the most skill intensive. There's definitely skill involved, but a lot of it is just like being on the play and having the good cards. I'm thinking that I'm going to pass the turn and Consider. If we draw a second Dark Ritual, we do have a kill. If we can draw like Force off the Consider, second Dark Ritual might be good. They're gonna pass again. Is it worth it to consider over Undercity Sewers? I think the answer is yes. Another land. Don't think so. Black Lotus is a Dark Ritual. So a Force is a great draw here. It would let me go for a Force backup kill. Mental Misstep is not bad either. So now what do we want to do? The answer might simply be Lotus Doomsday. Lotus. It's really bad into Flusterstorm if I go all in. It could just be Lotus Demonic, pass, hold open Ancestral. It could just be Lotus is the third, so I can pay for a Fluster. I think I'm going to play a Demonic Tutor right here. And I think I'm just getting an Ancestral Recall. I could get a Force. It's like kind of weak to get a Force. But I still have cantrips. And I'm mostly just worried about dying at this point. Because I'm not really pursuing a very strong kill threat. I could, of course, go for a Doomsday. But that plays into Flusterstorm and Daze. It's just very silly. I guess I'll use the Dark Ritual. But then I can't cantrip because the way I use this mana. I could get a Gush. Is a Gush better than an Ancestral from this spot? Quite possible. I think my gut instinct is telling me I'm supposed to take an Ancestral here and see what happens. I also, with Ancestral Misstep, can theoretically target my opponent. It's probably unlikely that would work, but there's some value there. I don't know. There's like about 8 million ways you can possibly have played this game out, so it's very hard to say. I don't think any of the different like cantripping choices is particularly wrong. I think the only thing I don't like is going like super all in. My opponent didn't play any cantrips this turn, so I feel like going super all in doesn't make sense. This is definitely a point where having a Chain of Vapor that's good against the rest of the field is not good here. And it would be a lot better if it was one of the other flex slots like Daze or Duress or Thoughtseize. But if I can pitch it to Force, it'll be fine. I would say that we are very unfavored from this spot. Why? I don't want to play towards an imperfect pile. I want to play towards my highest chance of winning. Oh, you're saying the Chain of Vapor can theoretically bounce a Thassa's Oracle? That's a valid point. I definitely didn't consider that, but yeah. That does give us technically 3 pieces of interaction, huh? So that's actually pretty valid. Because of how it stacks on top of Mental Misstep and Ancestral, I actually think that is a pretty valid point. Just Sapphire Pass. That's pretty good for us. I'm just gonna go to my turn and cast a Ponder. Vampiric Tutor. Wow. Yeah, I'm just casting a Ponder here. Time Walk, Street Wraith, Ponder. Do I want any of these cards? Not really. I don't think I need any of these magic cards. I want lands and I want forces. Because I still gonna probably end step vamp, so I think these cards are bad. Cruise. 6 in yard. 1 spell has been cast. I could definitely crack Lotus and Cruise. They could have hard cast negation. It's like, it's just kind of playing into the storm count, playing into open mana. Don't want to crack my Lotus. Don't think I want to Cruise. I can Vamp, which will be the 7th card for Cruise. Pass from my opponent? Is it correct to Vamp at all? If I Vamp, what am I vamping for? Force. Vamp for a force, cast Cruise. Doesn't feel very good, but I guess I could Vamp for a fetch. Nah, that seems pretty bad. I could Vamp for a Gush. I don't feel like I need that much draw spells. I'm gonna Vamp for a force. I'm not sure about that one, by the way. That one I could definitely see being a variety of different things. But it does make my Chain of Vapor better. I don't care about any of these cards, so I can easily Cruise. I don't think I'm fighting over this if something happens to it. I mean, they can only have, what, 1 or 2 negations tops. So if they tapped out for a negation, then there's play there, but for sure. But double fluster we beat, right? Because we pay for 2 copies, and then they fluster again, and we pay for 2 copies and mental misstep 1. Or we can even dark ritual and pay for copies. Like, we're gonna beat double fluster here. We'll definitely pay for a double fluster here. We think I'd be pretty happy if they end up doubly flustering here. Between Dark Ritual and Misstep, we have Fluster pretty well covered. And Lotus obviously helps. This game's hard. This game's so hard, man. Doomsday mirrors are tough. Nami, did you know that they moved the RCQ date? I'm so pissed about that. I'm trying to not focus on that. Maybe it means I'm supposed to play the Legacy Showcase. Probably not. Probably just supposed to play LCQs if I get a bunch of points. No, they like moved it because they wanted to have different showcases because they had to move showcases. They went for pitch cast negation, pitching brainstorm. Wow. I guess I just have to let that happen. Can't imagine fighting over this. We just got a 2-for-1, so we're slowly catching back up here on cards. They fetch now that they don't have their brainstorm. I think our hand is at a point where if they went for a Doomsday, I would let it resolve, though. Ponder. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be the one ever casting a Doomsday in this game. I'm kind of hoping my opponent goes for it. Because I don't see myself going for it. I mean, I guess if I draw Doomsday right now, it's not bad for me. I would go for it with Force Misstep, Ancestral, right? But unless I draw exactly Doomsday, Ancestral now? Not a chance. No way. Draw with Ponder. I'm holding this Ancestral till the cows come home. Probably. Just like can't play into Flusterstorm like that. I drew the Doomsday. I guess it's just crack Lotus, cast Doomsday, right? I don't think you would play the Dark Ritual first. Okay. Send it. Ancestral is also my cantrip. Like, you cannot play it Ancestral into after Ponder there, or with Ponder on the stack there. Never. This is my second mirror. I think they have Fluster Chalky, so isn't holding Dark Ritual better? Like, Dark Ritual lets us, like, do various paying for Fluster things. So I feel like just casting the Doomsday is correct. This I feel like I will try to win with if I can. It's going to be very challenging still. 5 cards from my opponent's hand. They know their top 2 cards with Ponder. They don't know any of my cards, I don't believe. Doomsday Mirrors are tough. Resolves. Resolves, huh? Jeez. Second spell is Ancestral. I can pay for it entirely with a Dark Ritual. So my pile needs to have redundancy and mana. I don't think I'm supposed to pass here. I think my pile should be Gush, Time Walk, Lotus, Oracle. I cast Ancestral Recall, so we'll see what happens. Even if it doesn't work out, I still have Force Mental Misstep, and then I'm gushing. And I'm gushing into Time Walk Oracle. No. I'm gushing into so Time Walk helps if my opponent counters Ancestral and then counters Gush. Which could happen if my opponent has a drastic number of Flusterstorms. Or I could put... So I want to be able to go, if my opponent counters my Ancestral here, I want my Gush to be winning. And for my Gush to be winning... Maybe I don't want Time Walk then. Maybe I want to have Gush, Oracle, Fluster. Oh, it's so hard. Fluster. Maybe it just has to be Fluster. But what the hell's the order? Ancestral Gush. I don't need a Lotus as my second card down, right? Because if I Gush on the second turn, that it doesn't matter. So I can have... All right, I'm going to do this pile. I'm done thinking. I'm going to do Oracle, Lotus, Oracle, Flusterstorm, Gush. Messed up. Missed out. This exposes me to their ancestral, but... Now my Dark Ritual does not pay for anything. Dig through time. I have to force this dig through time because I don't want to get flustered, right? Like if they had a fluster, they would have just flustered. Or I guess they could be playing around my possible fluster. But if I counter dig and if I get both flustered, it's super bad. If they find fluster and then go for a combo, I'm still winning on the next turn. So maybe I just let this dig resolve and force their Doomsdays. It's so bad if they have fluster. Like it's so bad if they have fluster here. I actually lose the game if they have fluster here. I'm gonna let this resolve. It's so bad. And they played this whole game holding open spells. I can't force here. It's not even that bad if my opponent flusters just my ancestral here because I untap, I still have a force on their turn with the ability to pay for stuff with Dark Ritual, and I still have Gush kills on the following turn. I can't force here. There's just no way I can force here. They don't know if I have force or if I have fluster because I put a fluster in my pile, right? They should have known I had mental misstep, but they don't know if I have force or fluster. Yeah, I think you're just wrong, Heaster. I think you can't force here. I understand wanting to force here, but I just don't think you can force there. Sure. This means we lost. Because there's no way they force back without a cantrip. Man, that's a frustrating game. I had second fluster beat there too, which is super sad. They had Gush in hand. I don't know. I just feel like we did not have as strong cards as our opponent did. Oh, that's so frustrating. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not supposed to go for Doomsday. Or maybe I'm just supposed to not try to dig into my Doomsday and just pass with the Ancestral up. But they still had a million Flusterstorms and stuff. It's so tough. I don't know. just keep losing Doomsday Mirrors where I feel like our opponent outdraws us. But I mean, there was a lot of choices in that game. It's very possible I made the wrong ones. Very, very possible. There was about 10 or 12 different decision trees that could have gone different ways. So I'm definitely not going to say that it wasn't me, because I definitely could be me there. Very frustrating, though. Vamp Island, Chain, and Dark Ritual out for 3 Murktides and a negation. Because I'm bringing in 3 Murktide Regents, so I have 5 Delve spells. And it lets me play Flusterstorm at instant speed. I can hold up in Flusterstorm. What are we doing with this? I mean, we're keeping this. I forgot about Consign. I don't know. Yeah, I probably supposed to bring in Consign. I don't think I brought in Consign in round 1 either. I don't know. I just like, so the problem is I don't feel like fighting over an Oracle trigger is like good, but unfortunately like fighting over a Demonic Consultation Oracle is good, but I probably should have brought in Consign. I probably was supposed to bring in Consign. I don't know. Like, I don't like the mapping of, like, I have to take out, like, more Dark Rituals or something. The mapping just doesn't feel very good with Consign, but I don't know. I don't know if this hand is good. What am I doing with this hand? Like, am I just demonicking for, like, what is this hand doing? I don't, like, I'm keeping this hand. I just don't know what I'm doing with it. Is this a nice hand? I feel like it's not. I don't like this hand. I don't like this hand at all. I think DT4 Oracle is very bad. How is it possible? I mean, I just told you exactly how it's possible. It's so I can play a cantrip at instant speed that fuels Delve, and I can hold up Flusterstorm, and I told you all the reasons. And we're a deck that cares about cards in the graveyard, cards on the stack, cards in the library. It's very important. I don't think this card is good. It's good in the long term, but I don't really think I want it right now. Another consider. Don't think I can console for anything. I don't want to hit land drops. Doomsday. Gross. I need mana. I mean, I could demonic. It's just like tapping out is so bad. Topping out is so bad. I can't tap out. Which is why consider is good again. I hate drawing Doomsday in the Doomsday Mirror. It's so rough. Okay. I'm gonna just go all in and die again. All right. What are we doing? I don't have a cantrip. I think it's Demonic Oracle. I mean, if I get consigned, it's super bad for me. I don't think it's a Murktide because Murktide represents a blue spell for my negation. I think it's demonic for an Oracle Consult, but it's super bad against Flusterstorm because they have 2 lands and I don't. So we can go Black Lotus, crack blue mana, demonic tutor, Oracle Consult. Actually, that doesn't give me enough to. Yeah, it gives me enough to Flusterstorm. Oh, but I don't actually have double black, so it doesn't really work either. So it sounds like the answer is actually just demonic tutor for an ancestral recall. I think I'm supposed to wait. I mean, now I get to. I mean, could I just let this resolve? I have ancestral negation Flusterstorm. Sure, you go ahead. See how good they are. I think they played very well so far, so I've been pretty impressed. Who is this? Someone was tweeting about this player. I don't remember who. I think Andre, maybe. I feel like it's someone we know. We kind of hope that they go for a combo and not a pass the turn. We're just playing to try to beat them with an ancestral, I think. We also have Consult, which can get us a Flusterstorm, a Force, depending on what we draw. Well, I think they're just going to pass the turn, and I don't think we can win or anything. So I think we have to pass the turn back to them and just try to find a good angle. Right. Because they're going to have 5 cards in their library. I mean, we're going to have to count all their cards in their deck. We're going to have to count what the things are. It's going to suck a lot. I don't have a lot of time either, actually, so it's going to be really rough. I guess technically, yeah. I guess I could technically go for a Doomsday kill as well. I feel like it's bad for me to go for a Doomsday kill, though, when I have so much mana and all these answers. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna pass the turn, which is gonna suck because I'm gonna have to try to figure out what cards they have. I don't think I gave myself enough time for this game because I need to play a game 3, right? Yeah, I gotta I can't just sit here and count every single card. How much they're gonna go down to 9, and I can only make an 8/8 Murktide region at best if I did some kind of spell. It's not very good. Unless I draw a Time Walk, I guess. If I draw Time Walk, I can play Murktide. 1, 2, 3. There's no Force of Will in their pile. They do have a Murktide Regent. There's no Ancestral, there's no Time Walk, there's no Black Lotus. There's a Gush somewhere. There's gonna be a bunch of Flusterstorms. Probably one Flusterstorm, it looks like. Gush is probably on top. But my opponent has no Force of Will, just a Force of Negation, plus maybe a Mindbreak Trap. My opponent has a Misstep either in their hand or in their pile. I drew another Doomsday. Worst possible. Very bad. Well, the problem is I can't go for a win with Flusterstorm back up, right? My opponent could also have Daze. If I consulted for a UC, I could Dark Ritual, and I would be able to go for Ancestral with Flusterstorm backup, but that's not good enough. My opponent probably has Mental Misstep Daze in their hand, maybe. I'm gonna pass the turn. I'm not gonna go super deep, but I'm pretty sure I can't win here through what I think they have. So I'm gonna try to make a play on their turn. I also have consult for Fluster, as long as I don't get too unlucky. I know they have a Fluster, a Misstep. Misstep is the worst part of this. So, Street Wraith. Yeah. Gosh. So, better to Ancestral now. So, they probably Street Wraith into a Mental Misstep. So, better to just Ancestral now before they get the chance if they like had an Mental Misstep longer. Because then they can Fluster their own... Well, then they can Fluster their own Gush. Which is worse for me. So maybe I should just let them resolve a Gush and spend mana on an Oracle first. I think I'm supposed to wait. That's my gut instinct. There's no Lotus or anything, so... does it matter if it's on the stack or not? I don't know. Don't I win a Fluster battle? Or no? We have to do this with Flusterstorm on the stack. This could be tough. It doesn't say what they're targeting. Oh, it does say. Okay. So most of them are targeting... I just have to hit all of them, right? So... God bless. Well, some of these are targeting Ancestral. 1, 2... They're all targeting Ancestral except for one that's targeting the negation. So I can hit all the ones that are... I can just hit one on each. I don't know, man.
I'm just gonna hit one on each and see what happens. Oh, it's the same art too. I still have Demonic for another Flusterstorm, so. And I have 1 mana left over to pay for something. And we might lose this game because of the stack here. If my opponent has 1 Fluster. No, they can only really have 1 more Fluster. Or they can only really have 1 Fluster here, right? I don't think they can have 2 Flusters. I don't think I clicked my own Fluster. As long as you click each copy and then hit same target, you should be fine. I don't even think my opponent has another counterspell, right? They have Mindbreak Trap at the end of the stack. That's pretty sick. So now I have to Demonic for our Consult. And then do I just hit the Mindbreak Trap with 2? Oh, fucking hell. So holy shit. All right, well, at least whatever. I don't care. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, my God. Okay. Someone figure out where I'm going to put these consigns in. If I put these consigns in, I'm going to get some water. Oh, I need to play this game fast, too. What do I play for consigns? I don't really understand where I'm supposed to board out for consigns. I Ancestral targeted my opponent, and then I countered all of their counters on my counters. I think Mercs are better than consigns. Mercs are also a fast way to win. I don't like consign. I'm just going to stick with my gut. I have not been boarding consigns in against the Doomsday Mirror, so I'm just going to not board them. I have 3 minutes to win this game. This hand's good. Keep. I got to play really fast. Probe. They know my hand. My hand does not produce any fast kills, unfortunately. Go. But hope this ponder is good for me. I'd like to have a. I think I'd like to play a Murktide game if possible. It's not a bad draw. I should have played around Days. My bad. Mental misstep, maybe? What if I console for a Murktide? Is it crazy? Probably crazy. They're thinking about mental misstepping this, I assume. Jet probe. Sure. This might get mental misstepped. Yeah. Okay, I should have ordered it the other way so I could gush. I might just fetch, so. I probably have to fetch. I don't think Jet's very good here. Top. 3 mana, 4 mana, gush, probe, fluster, go. Is consult for a Murktide crazy? 4 cards in yard, 5 cards in yard. 3. No shot. Force back. I mean, they know my last card is consult, so. I mean, I might have to consult for a Fluster Storm. I think they have a Fluster Storm. I don't have another Surveil. Yeah, they have force backup, so they're going to go to 0. I'm at 0, they're at 0. If I consult for a Fluster, I have 3 Flusters in my deck. If I consult for a Fluster, I have 3 Flusters in my deck. I have to do it. No cards really gone. I lost. Like nothing. All right, top deck wars. I'm up 1 mana. 1 minute to go. Murktide. Consider. Cast consider. Force. Surveil force. Force. Okay, unfortunate. They put a bit thing to the bin. Murktide. Lotus. Go. Murktide. Fetch. Necro? Oh, fuck me. I should have drawn more cards so I could Murktide again and kill them. Oh well. No! Okay. I'm not going to be able to win. I don't have enough time to Doomsday. I mean, I can Doomsday, but I just can't win in time. Fuck. No, I can't win at all. Yeah, I lost. Oh, Doomsday pumps the Murktide. Okay, cool. I lost this game because I didn't play fast enough, so. Would Doomsday pumps the Murktide? Okay, I didn't know that. That makes sense though. So yeah, I had that game won. So we definitely win this game if I had enough time. Damn. That's unfortunate, but that's part of what happens. It's part of streaming. Oh, that's my fault though, for sure. So I did not see Doomsday pumping Murktide. All I could think about was finding another Murktide to pump my Murktide. Because Cruise and Dig were gone, but I didn't think about Doomsday finding the Murktide, exiling the cards in my yard. Cast Doomsday for 0? Is it up to 5? No, I have to put 5 cards. What are you talking about? Are you making things up now? No, we're dead for top 8 now. No, the thing I missed here is Doomsday exiling for Murktide. I didn't think about that. I did not think about that in the slightest. So like, I actually have enough time to win this game. I did not think about Doomsday exiling for Murktide. So that's the biggest thing here. The rest was fine. All right, we're on the back of a rough round 7 loss on time. I think the biggest thing I missed was Doomsday would be able to exile cards to make my Murktide bigger. I didn't think about that at all, and so that's the biggest reason we lost that game, because I for sure can win on time if I see that, but I didn't see that. So I was dead set on cantripping and trying to find another Murktide to pump my Murktide. All right, last round. We are dead for top 8, unfortunately. Looks like it'll be another bread and butter finish here, but I mean, maybe I'll lose and I'll go 5-3, so shouldn't even count my eggs before they hatch here. It was a really good set last game. I'm not super upset about it. It's a little disappointing, but it is what it is.
I was just trying to play as fast as possible, trying to go for the lines that I knew I could do. The fact that it had to be Necro there was brutal, because Necro is really hard to play with low time. Oh, my opponent revealed a Lurrus. I might have been supposed to fetch a basic there. Consider Dark Ritual Force. Yeah, let's take Force and draw Dark Ritual and go for the win. Oh, I guess that doesn't actually help me go for the win because I won't have enough blue cards. So that's unfortunate. How is it possible that I didn't know the interaction? I mean, I understand the interaction. I had 30 seconds on my clock and I just wasn't clicking that I had to do that. What? Like I've done the interaction before. It just like what? Like the interaction makes sense. Cards got exiled from my yard. They bumped the thing. It's all I shouldn't fucking fetch them. We're gonna lose this game. Where do we? Oh, Ponder Gush. Did I miss pumps with Necro too? Yeah, that's because it goes to my yard, then it gets exiled. So yeah, I just can't. Why am I getting strip mined to death? Oh, I don't have enough cards in my yard to cruise. If now what do I do? I'm gonna go Street Wraith. Ancestral. Lotus. No. I'm gonna go Ancestral, Lotus, Oracle, Land. I'm gonna go Ancestral, Land. No. Ancestral, Lotus. I go to 4 cards. I go to 1 card. What if I get Fatal Push, man? Yeah, I'm gonna go Street Wraith, Ancestral, Lotus, Oracle. That's like doesn't actually help me if I want to try a second Oracle though. So Street Wraith, Ancestral, Lotus, Oracle, Flusterstorm. Probe, Ancestral. What if I get Wastelanded? What's the best play if I get Wastelanded? There's just like no good play if I get Wastelanded. Trying to think if there's a downside to probing instead of Street Wraithing. I don't think there's a downside. Can I make my last card a land then? Well, the problem is, if I make my last card a land, it doesn't actually help me. But if I don't probe and I make... Trying to figure out like there's an upside to like making a land drop or something, but there doesn't seem like there really is. Because if I get wastelanded, I still have to just... I draw to 4 and then I draw to 3. Oh, I can't even... This is like... Probe is actually bad. I'm just going to go Ancestral Lotus, Oracle Land, which is my original pile anyways. If I do probe and my opponent has a wasteland, I can't cast my Ancestral and it's awful. Oh no, I'm reading Twitch chat. Sorry. I'm going to close Twitch chat. Sorry. I can't read these terrible piles that just literally lose the game for no reason. I'm not saying this pile is perfect, but like, it's fine. Like, it's just so bad. Land, Oracle, Lotus, Ancestral. Looks like they have nothing. They're not even going to bother playing a land out. Okay, sure. They have a forest. I mean, this gives me at least land Oracle if this gets countered for some reason again. Okay, sure. That was weird. I don't know. Sorry, Heastar. I snapped a little bit there, but I was getting a little tilted. Okay. I'm really sad about missing another Showcase top 8 on stream, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna play our last match here versus Lurrus. I've got Fatal Pushes and Murktides. These are coming in, and then I'm taking out cards that are bad, like Chain of Vapor, Dark Ritual, Vampiric Tutor, Force of Negation, and Necropotence is what I usually take out. Yeah, play it again. Yeah, I just did not think of that Doomsday Exile for Murktide line. I didn't want to put a Doomsday on the stack because I didn't want to lose on time. I was trying to just Murktide as fast as possible. But that's what happens when you look at one thing. I mean, I could have won the game though. Like, it doesn't matter what my opponent top decks. Like, I needed, you know, we both were top decking like crazy. We both top decked Necropotences and slammed negations against each other. Like, I think, I mean, that's part of the problem too, is resolving a Doomsday and attacking twice is not easy either. They had 22 seconds attacking twice is not hard, but doing it and Doomsdaying is quite hard. But it's my fault for, like, I just took too long in the first games. So, I mean, would I have taken too long in the first games not streaming? Probably not, but that's part of what I sign up for, so it's okay. Make a good product that way. Murktide triggers aren't too bad because you can just F6 through them. There's a lot of F6ing that could happen there, for sure. I have gone 6-2 in like all of the last RCQs, PTQs, and showcases though, so it's been pretty rough. I mean, I might not even win this game. This is a tough matchup, right? I got pretty lucky there in game 1. This hand's really pretty nice as well.
It's kind of funny that I didn't fetch the basic island and then I got strip mined. I can't wait for dinner. Maybe I'll order dinner. I kind of wanted to make dinner. I don't think Holy Open Flusterstorm helps me. Rather resolve a cantrip here. Doomsday Gush. Holy shit. Okay. Now I'm running hot as the sun. I have a Chain of Vapor and a Force of Negation in my flex slots and a Vamp Tutor, I guess. I think the Vamp Tutor also plays pretty well with the whole Consider package. So I would never really cut the Vamp Tutor. I understand why people cut the Vamp Tutor because of this matchup, but... I mean, this hand is crazy good. So if my opponent taps out here for a frog, I should just win, I would think. Cool. So do I have double force backup? I don't, right? I only have single force backup. So I have force plus fluster. I mean, that's good enough, right? Because time walking doesn't give me additional forces. Does time walking help at all? I guess time walk would give me an additional land to play around days. So there's probably no reason not to time walk. Though I guess if my opponent dazes me and on my time walk, it's kind of bad. I'm just going to go for it. I could see that being wrong, but I think it's fine. I don't think I've run very hot today, Slasher, to be perfectly honest. I think I haven't really had, I don't know if I've had any, I've had one turn one kill, maybe. I would say today was pretty medium variance. My opponent's had some bad variance, I would say. But I have definitely run hotter in tournaments than today, is what I'm trying to say. So this is probably Gush into Lotus Ancestral. It's probably just a simple Gush into Ancestral Lotus. Oracle, MOCS. That's fair. I guess I did have an opponent not show up to a match. I'm mostly just talking about how my draws and stuff have panned out, but I definitely have had, my opponents had unlucky variants, that's for sure. Let's see what this does. So if my opponent still has another counter magic, like I'm just worried mostly about days, really. So if this hand would let me Gush, still not into days, into Black Lotus Ancestral, play a Black Lotus, cast Ancestral. That gives me 3 mana, and then I have Oracle, or like Oracle Fluster or something. Seems close enough. I don't think it matters very much. We crushed Lurrus today, though. We crushed both of our Lurrus opponents. And actually, a lot of them weren't even Murktide games. I think we had one Murktide win, right? Against, maybe one Murktide win? Not sure. Okay, so from the bottom, Sapphire, Oracle, Lotus, Ancestral, Blue, Gush, Lotus, Ancestral, Sapphire, Oracle, Fluster, Force Fluster backup. All right, 6-2 bread and butter. Not bad. I'm sad. I'm sad about that. Losing to time and missing the Doomsday interaction on time, but overall, it was a really good stream, so I'm pretty happy in general. Let's just go back and look at it real quick. All right, I'm just going to look at the ending real quick, and then we'll do sign off. So I won this crazy Flusterstorm battle. That was pretty awesome, actually. Then we played this game, and I pondered fetch. I liked my play. I played around this Necropotence. I like Demonic for Fluster. I think I like casting Consider. That's fine. And then I like they drew negation too, which is pretty funny. And I drew probably not enough cards on this Necropotence. I just tried to click as fast as possible. I probably drew too few cards on this Necropotence. But I did draw the right cards, so. And then I made the biggest Murktide I could. And I cast cantrips. And I shuffled bugged a Doomsday to my top after hitting any. And my opponent had drawn one card and passed. They clearly didn't draw Murktide, or they would have drawn Murktide. They would have played it before. So the thing I missed here is just the straight up the fact that if I Doomsday, I will exile the lands out of the cards out of my yard. So it's not like as simple a statement to say without streaming would I have top aided, because like obviously there are pros and cons to streaming. There's definitely been at least one point over the course of the day where chat said something that I didn't think of, right? So like clearly there's, you know, some amount of outside assistance. Most of it is outside unassistance, obviously. So there's very detrimental to looking at chat, but someone's going to say something good at some point. So like maybe I lose a game earlier in the tournament because I don't have chat. But I would say like I would probably win this game because I wouldn't have had to use so much time. But that's not the thing is though. Like I could probably have seen the Murktide interaction Grixis if I had more time. The reason I didn't think about the Doomsday Murktide reaction is because I was hyper focused on only hitting other Murktides as delve spells, because I knew that Dig Through Time and Cruise were exiled, and I was like, okay, it has to be, I have 50 seconds, it has to be another Murktide region. I think like if I'm given infinite time, I'm going to see, oh, I can do the Doomsday as a way to do it, you know? That's how I think about it anyways. So like I don't think it's as simple as like streaming I would or would not have top aided. I would say in general for streamers, I would say for the most part, especially when you have a chat of this size, streaming is at least a 25% detriment. You play at least 25% worse. And it varies depending on the day, and also varies depending on the deck. I think with Doomsday, typically the chat is extreme negative for the way I like to stream with Doomsday, or with just like stream in general. But of course, like it's very important to acknowledge that just because, you know, 90% of chatters are giving bad lines doesn't mean that you won't see a good line that you didn't think of as the streamer, right? So it's a give and take. So I stream basically every event that's not the Vintage Qualifier itself. The Vintage Qualifier itself is the only event I like truly really care about winning. The rest I'm mostly interested in. I want to win, but like streaming is more important to me than winning. Because if I was truly only thinking about winning, I would never stream. Or I would, stream in a Discord call with one other powerful wizard, as some people do, two-headed giant. Probably illegal, but who knows? I think streaming is mostly a net negative. So yeah, my opponent drew a Murktide region, and then they drew another Murktide region. That's pretty crazy, actually, but yeah, this is on me though. So can I resolve a Doomsday from this spot? From here. So I should not have shuffled this. But from this spot, I'm at 40 seconds. I can Doomsday pumping 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have to attack for 3 times. That actually sounds kind of tough. 40 seconds, cast a Doomsday, click 5 random cards, including 2 oracles. I guess I have considers. So actually I could probably win with Oracle from this spot too. I just like was not remotely thinking about casting a Doomsday because I had 40 seconds on my clock. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna win with Murktide attacks. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad we got to that point. That's definitely a game that I can win. So, but that was a really awesome set. Those 3 games. I think I was very impressed with how my opponent played. I thought my opponent played the Doomsday matches very well, and we ended up with some very interesting games. Like, I'm pretty sure that Mindbreak Trap pile was really pretty cool because I didn't expect the Mindbreak Trap, so I was playing around the Fluster,
and the mental misstep, but the Mind Break Trap got me by surprise, and I had just enough counter magic to push through. So, okay. As for my deck choice, I think deck choice for this tournament was 100% spot on correct. I played against all the matchups I thought I would, and I won all the matchups I thought I would. I beat 2 Lurrus opponents, and then I beat all of the linear players as well. I lost 2 Doomsday Mirrors to 2 very powerful wizards, and that's, you know, partially on me, but also I think some of those games in those Doomsday matchups were just not games that we were going to win, even with perfect play. So that can obviously happen. As for the deck list, I think the deck list was very good. I wouldn't change any cards. Obviously, we didn't play against Jewel today, so the Null Rods and Consigns stayed in the board. Obviously, the Consigns could come in the Doomsday Mirror, and that's possibly a place where I messed up. I typically haven't been boarding Consigns in my most recent Doomsday Mirrors. I haven't really liked how the card played, but that could be a misevaluation. I just don't know what they come in for. Maybe like a Dark Ritual could be a Consign. I know I have played at least one match where I took a third dark. I took out one Dark Ritual normally. I took out another Dark Ritual and I played one Consign in the Doomsday Mirror, but then I didn't even like the one Consign, so I boarded it back out again. So I don't know if someone has a good idea of where you would want to fit in Consigns for the Doomsday Mirror. Let me know. But I just don't feel like Consigns were the way I was losing the Doomsday Mirror, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I could definitely see that being wrong. So, yeah. So I like my deck. I would play it again. I would play it again in the RCQ next weekend, but I just learned today on stream that the RCQ is no longer on Sunday, and it is on Saturday. And unfortunately, I have plans on Saturday because I thought it was on Sunday and made the plans for Saturday. So it sounds like there will be no vintage RCQ stream for me next weekend, and we'll just have to make normal content until the next showcase event, which is in March. Thank you for watching new vintage gameplay content on my YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.